Before you start watching, know that your support keeps these thrilling stories coming. So kindly hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications so you never miss any story. The night was thick with heat, the kind that made shirts stick to backs and tempers rise. Lagos never slept, but in some corners, the darkness carried whispers of power, wealth, and deals too dangerous to speak of in daylight. Emeka sat outside a small beer parlor in Ikeja, swirling the last drops of his cheap drink in a plastic cup. His life was nothing to write home about, hustling every day, making just enough to survive, but never enough to leave the struggle behind. He had tried everything: betting, small businesses, even borrowing from friends who now avoided his calls. He sighed, stretching his legs, when a woman slid into the chair across from him. She was dressed in a deep red gown that clung to her body like a second skin. Her presence was like a cold gust of wind on a hot day, strange and unsettling. "You're tired, aren't you?" Her voice was smooth, almost musical, but there was something else beneath it. Something that made the hairs on his arms stand. Emeka frowned. "Do I know you?" She smiled. "Not yet." Her fingers, long and delicate, traced the rim of his empty cup. She had deep brown skin, eyes that held secrets, and a scent that was neither perfume nor sweat, just something different. "You want to be rich," she continued, her gaze never leaving his. "Filthy rich. More than you ever imagined." Emeka scoffed. "Who doesn't?" She leaned forward, her voice dropping lower. "Then give me your manhood, and I will make you the richest man on earth." Emeka froze. The noise around them, the loud music, the occasional shouts of people arguing over drinks, faded into silence. His mouth felt dry. "Excuse me," he asked, unsure if he heard her right. She rested her chin on her hand, watching him with amusement. "You heard me." A shaky laugh escaped his lips. "You must be joking." Her smile didn't waver. "Am I?" Emeka swallowed. His life was a mess, yes. But what kind of nonsense was this? His gaze dropped to her hands, and for the first time, he noticed her nails, sharp and curved like tiny blades. Something in his chest tightened. "What kind of play is this?" he muttered, pushing his chair back. She sighed, as if disappointed. "You're afraid." Emeka stood up. "I don't know what kind of trick this is, but..." Before he could finish, her hand shot out and gripped his wrist. His body stiffened. A wave of cold rushed through him, spreading from his wrist to his chest, to his legs. His breath hitched. "You will think of me," she whispered, her eyes dark as night. "And when you're ready, you will come back." Then, just as fast as the cold came, it disappeared. She let go, and the noise of Lagos crashed back into his ears. Emeka stumbled back, his heart pounding. The woman sat there, calm, as if nothing had happened. His head spun as he turned and hurried away, but deep down, he knew this was not over. Emeka couldn't sleep that night. No matter how much he turned, how many times he shut his eyes, the woman's words clung to him like a shadow. "Give me your manhood, and I will make you the richest man on earth." The sentence played over and over in his mind, refusing to leave. He told himself it was nonsense, that she was probably one of those mad people walking around Lagos. But deep down, something told him she was real. Too real. By morning, he was exhausted. His tiny one-room apartment in Mushin felt even smaller as he paced back and forth. His rent was almost due, his pockets were empty, and his dreams of escaping poverty seemed farther than ever. He reached for his phone, scrolling through his messages. No job offers, no missed calls, nothing. Just the usual chain of ignored messages from people he owed money. His stomach rumbled, reminding him that even food was becoming a struggle. He stopped pacing and sat on his bed, rubbing his face. "God, is this my life?" he muttered. As if mocking him, his phone rang. He grabbed it quickly, but when he saw the caller ID, his heart sank. Cheka. His childhood friend. Or rather, the friend who now only called to remind him of the money he borrowed. With a sigh, he answered. "Chaka, Abeg, Give me small time. Things never set. Emeka, forget that one. Cheka cut him off. Na your side I day. Open door. Emeka's stomach tightened. He wasn't in the mood for any confrontation. But before he could think of an excuse, there was a loud knock on the door. Emeka, open this door. Cheka's voice boomed from outside. Emeka dragged himself up and opened the door. Cheka stepped in, tall and broad-shouldered, his sharp eyes scanning the small room. You never even sweep here. Cheka scoffed, stepping over a pile of clothes. Guy, you don't fall my hand. If Na insult you come give me, a beg comet, Emeka muttered, dropping back on his bed. Cheka folded his arms. You don't hear about Chief Balogun? Emeka frowned. Who be that? Cheka chuckled. You day Lagos and you never hear of Chief Balogun? That man day control money. Real money. I hear say e fit just wake up dash person car like say Na pure water. Emeka sat up slightly, interested. Ehen? Wetting concern me? Cheka's eyes twinkled. Because I fit link you. But you gats get mind. Emeka swallowed. He didn't like the way Cheka said those words. Asterisk you gats get mind. Asterisk. Which kind work? Emeka asked slowly. Cheka smiled. Work we go change your life. But once you enter, no turning back. Emeka's heartbeat quickened. He had heard these kinds of stories before. Boys who went in search of money and came back different or never came back at all. And then, as if fate was playing a cruel game, an image of the woman from last night flashed in his mind. Her sharp nails. Her knowing smile. He shivered. This was not over. Emeka couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Cheka's words had planted a seed of doubt, and the more he thought about it, the more uneasy he felt. But the hunger in his stomach and the weight of his empty pockets made his decisions for him. Where I fit see Chief Balogun? Emeka finally asked, his voice low. Cheka grinned, as if he had been expecting the question. Follow me tonight. Just wear something sharp. No be this your faded polo and slippers. Emeka swallowed. Where we day go? No day ask too many questions, Cheka muttered, glancing at the door as if someone might be listening. Just trust me. That evening, Emeka found himself standing outside a large mansion in Ikoyi. The compound was bigger than anything he had ever seen, with sleek cars parked in a neat row, their surfaces gleaming under the dim light of the street lamps. A cold wave of uncertainty washed over him, but Cheka gave him a reassuring pat on the back before leading him inside. The air smelled of expensive perfume and power. Men in sharp suits sat in clusters, sipping from glasses filled with golden liquid. Women, draped in shimmering gowns, moved with a confidence that only came from knowing they were untouchable. Then, there he was. Chief Balogun. The man radiated authority. He sat in an oversized chair, his fingers adorned with heavy rings that glistened with every movement. His eyes, sharp and calculating, landed on Emeka, and for a moment, everything else disappeared. This is the boy. Chief Balogun's voice was deep, almost hypnotic. Cheka nodded. Yes, Chief. Him get mind. Chief Balogun studied Emeka for a long moment, then gestured for him to step closer. Emeka's legs felt heavy, but he forced himself forward, stopping just a few feet from the imposing man. You want money? Chief Balogun asked, his lips curling into a smirk. Emeka's throat was dry. He nodded. Are you ready to do whatever it takes? The chief leaned forward slightly. The room felt smaller, the air thicker. And then, just as the silence threatened to consume him, a familiar scent wafted through the air, one that sent chills down his spine. The woman from the beer parlor. She was here. Emeka's heart pounded as he turned slightly, scanning the room. And then he saw her, standing in the far corner, watching him with that same knowing smile. His breath hitched. This was not over. Emeka felt paralyzed. His feet refused to move, his breath stuck in his throat. The woman took a slow step forward, her eyes never leaving his. The noise in the room faded into a distant hum, as if he and the woman were the only ones present. Chief Balogun chuckled, breaking the silence. You recognize her, don't you? His voice dripped with amusement. Emeka swallowed hard. Who is she? The chief exchanged a glance with the woman before turning back to Emeka. She is the one who will give you what you desire, at a cost. Emeka's hands felt clammy. What cost? The woman stepped closer, her voice as smooth as silk. I already told you, Emeka. Give me your manhood, and I will make you the richest man on earth. A cold shiver ran down his spine. It wasn't a joke. It wasn't a dream. It was real. Emeka looked around the room, expecting someone to laugh, to tell him it was all a test. But the expressions he saw were dead serious. Chief Balogun leaned back in his chair, watching him like a hunter observing his prey. You must decide now. No turning back. Emeka's mind raced. The weight of his life, his poverty, his endless struggles, all pressed down on him. But the price, was it too much? His mouth went dry as the woman extended her hand. Say yes, and everything changes. Say no, and walk away with nothing. His heart pounded. This was it. The moment that would decide everything. Emeka barely made it out of the mansion before his legs gave way beneath him. He stumbled against the cold metal gate, gasping for air. His shirt clung to his back, soaked with sweat. Chaka rushed after him, grabbing his arm. Guy, wetting you just do? Chaka's voice was sharp, panic laced in every word. You know they think. You just tell Chief Balogun no? Emeka pulled his arm free. I know fit. Chaka, you see wetting dem they ask. UWN make I lose myself just for money. Chaka ran a shaky hand over his head. You don't already lose, Emeka. You no go fit come back from this one. Dem go find you, Dem go. A loud bang cut him off. The mansion's front door slammed shut, and two men in black suits stepped out. They moved slowly, deliberately, their eyes locked on Emeka. Omo, Dem they come. Chaka's voice dropped to a whisper. Run. Emeka didn't need to be told twice. He turned and bolted down the street, his heart pounding like a drum. Chaka was right beside him, their feet slapping against the pavement as they weaved through cars and shouting pedestrians. He had made a choice. And now, he was paying for it. They ran until their lungs burned, until the bright lights of the city blurred into one. Only when they reached a deserted alley did they stop, leaning against the damp walls, struggling to catch their breath. Chaka shook his head. Emeka, Dem no go let you rest. Dem fit come for your family, your friends. I go find a way. Emeka's voice was firm, but deep down, he had no idea what to do next. He had rejected something powerful, and power never let go so easily. A sudden vibration in his pocket made him jump. He pulled out his phone. Unknown number. His hands trembled as he answered. Hello. A deep, familiar voice came through. You think say you fit walk away? Chief Balogun. Emeka's breath caught in his throat. The line went dead. Chaka stared at him. Who be that? Emeka swallowed hard. We need to go. Now. They moved quickly, slipping through the shadows of Lagos. Emeka's mind raced. There had to be somewhere safe, somewhere Chief Balogun's men wouldn't find them. But where? Guy, we no fit go your place, Chaka muttered. Dem go reach there first. Emeka nodded. I sabai one place. They hailed a bike, squeezing on behind the rider. The city blurred past, the night swallowing them whole. When they finally stopped, they were in front of a rundown hotel in a quiet part of town. The sign flickered weakly above the entrance. Inside, the air smelled of damp walls and stale beer. The receptionist barely glanced at them as Emeka paid for a room. They climbed the narrow stairs in silence, locking the door behind them once inside. Chika exhaled. Omo, we don't enter Warala. Wetting be the next move. Emeka sat on the edge of the bed, rubbing his face. I know no. But one thing sure, Chief Balogun no go leave me. His phone vibrated again. Another unknown number. Chaka shifted uneasily. No pick-up. But Emeka's fingers moved on their own, answering the call. A different voice came through this time. A woman's voice. Low, smooth, and dangerous. Emeka, you disappoint me. His stomach dropped. It was her. The woman who had promised him wealth beyond imagination. The woman who had asked for his manhood in return. His past was catching up with him. The room suddenly felt smaller, the walls pressing in. Emeka's throat dried up as he struggled to speak. I know fit do wetting you ask. A low chuckle floated through the phone. Yet you still picked my call. That means part of you day consider I no be fool, Emeka snapped, gripping the phone tighter. I go find another way. Silence. Then she sighed, almost like she pitied him. No other way, Emeka. If you no give me wetting I want, DM go take everything from you. And this time, ego worse than poverty. Chaka, watching from the side, whispered, cut 'em. No let her mess with your head. But Emeka couldn't. Something about her voice held him still, trapped like an insect in a web. I go give you till midnight, she continued, her tone calm but firm. If you no change your mind, your life as you know go end. The line went dead. Chaka grabbed Emeka's shoulder. Guy, you day play with fire. Wetting we go do now? Emeka stood up abruptly. We need help. From who? Emeka's mind raced. Then it hit him. There was one man, someone who had warned him about these kinds of deals before. An old herbalist who once told him, some riches come with chains you no fit break. If anyone could help him now, it was that man. Without another word, Emeka grabbed his jacket. We day go meet Barber Odwale. Emeka's breath was shaky as he looked around the room. The air felt thick, suffocating. His mind screamed at him to run, but his feet were glued to the floor. The woman's eyes bore into him, waiting, expecting. I need to think, he managed to say, his voice barely above a whisper. Chief Balogun scoffed. Think. You still day think. Do you know how many men would kill for this opportunity? Emeka clenched his fists. He knew that. He had seen what poverty had done to people, the desperation, the hopelessness. And here he was, being offered an escape. But at what cost? The woman took another step closer, her perfume filling his nostrils, sweet yet suffocating. Time is running out, Emeka, she said, tilting her head slightly. You either take this deal now, or you walk out that door and remain exactly who you are. Emeka's throat tightened. He thought about his mother, how she still sold vegetables under the scorching sun, how his younger siblings went to bed hungry some nights. He thought about the times he had to borrow money just to survive. But he also thought about what it meant to be a man. His manhood. His identity. Chaka finally spoke, his voice barely audible. Emeka, maybe you should think 'em well. No be everything we shine be gold. Chief Balogun shot Chaka a sharp look, but Emeka had already heard the words. Doubt crawled deeper into his mind. The woman extended her hand again. Decide now. Riches beyond your dreams, or a life of struggle. Emeka's palms were sweaty. His heart pounded in his chest. And then, Emeka swallowed hard, his heartbeat loud in his ears. The room seemed to shrink around him, the weight of his decision pressing down like a heavy stone. The woman's hand remained outstretched, her nails perfectly manicured, her expression calm but firm. Emeka, this is your last chance. He turned to Chaka, searching for something, guidance, a sign, anything. But Chaka only shook his head slowly, his face tight with unspoken fear. Emeka licked his dry lips. If I say yes, what happens next? Chief Balogun leaned forward, his fingers tapping against the table. You'll be taken to a place where the ritual will be completed. No pain, no suffering, just one simple sacrifice. After that, wealth beyond your imagination. The word sacrifice echoed in Emeka's mind, twisting his stomach into knots. He thought about his mother, about the life he had struggled to escape. He thought about the little dignity he had left. He exhaled slowly, his body trembling. "And if I refuse?" The woman's smile faded, her eyes darkening. "Then you walk out of here, and you will never get this chance again." Silence filled the room. Emeka's fingers twitched. The walls felt closer. His mind screamed at him to run, to leave, to forget this ever happened. And yet, he closed his eyes. Then, finally, he made his choice. Emeka's lips parted, but no words came out. His body felt heavy, as if the air around him had thickened. He looked at the woman's hand again, then at Chief Balogun's face. The older man was watching him with a knowing smirk, like he had already seen how this would end. Emeka's voice cracked. "I need to see where the ritual will happen." Chief Balogun let out a low laugh. "That is not how it works, my boy. You either accept or you don't." Chaka grabbed Emeka's arm suddenly, his fingers digging into his skin. "Guy, no do 'em. No be everything we glitter be gold. Think 'em well." Emeka could feel his friend's fear, see the sweat forming on his brow. For a moment, doubt crept in again, but then the woman stepped even closer, her scent washing over him, intoxicating and strange. "Emeka," she whispered, "you've suffered enough. Why hold on to something that has brought you nothing but pain? Let go, and embrace a new life." Emeka's breathing was shallow. He thought about his mother, the hunger, the endless struggle. The weight of his past, his failures. This was his chance. His only chance. His fingers twitched. He took one last look at Chaka, at the fear in his friend's eyes. Then, slowly, Emeka reached forward. The moment Emeka's fingers brushed against hers, a chill ran down his spine. It wasn't the warmth he expected, it was cold, almost lifeless. The woman's lips curled into a knowing smile as she tightened her grip. Chief Balogun's laugh filled the room, deep and satisfied. "Good choice, my boy. You won't regret this." Chaka stumbled back, his face twisted with horror. "Emeka, no. You know Sabai wetting you day do." Emeka's mouth was dry, his heart pounding in his chest, but he didn't let go. The woman turned to Chief Balogun and gave him a slight nod. In that instant, the doors behind them creaked open, revealing a dimly lit corridor. "Follow me," the woman said, her voice smooth and commanding. Emeka hesitated, his stomach twisting into knots, but he forced his feet to move. As he stepped through the doorway, the air grew heavier, thick with an eerie silence. Chaka's voice reached him one last time, desperate and broken. "If you cross that line, you no fit turn back." Emeka swallowed hard and took another step forward. Emeka's footsteps echoed in the narrow corridor. The dim light flickered, casting strange shadows on the walls. His hands felt clammy, and his breath came out in shallow gasps, but he kept moving. The woman walked ahead of him, her posture straight, her movements graceful. She didn't turn back, didn't speak. Chief Balogun followed behind, his heavy presence pressing against Emeka's back like a warning. The air smelled different here, stale, like a place untouched for years. The deeper they went, the colder it became. Emeka's skin prickled, and doubt began to creep in again. Then they reached the end of the corridor. A large iron door stood before them, ancient and rusted, yet imposing. The woman finally turned to him, her eyes holding an unreadable expression. "Once you enter," she said, "there is no turning back." Emeka's throat tightened. He thought of Chaka, of his mother, of the life he had barely managed to survive. His dream of wealth, of power, of a life where he was no longer invisible. He clenched his fists. He had come too far to stop now. The woman placed her palm on the door, and with a deep groan, it slowly swung open. A warm, reddish glow spilled out, illuminating Emeka's face. He took a deep breath and stepped inside. The moment Emeka stepped inside, a thick wave of heat enveloped him. The reddish glow came from a large pit in the center of the room, its flames licking hungrily at the air. The walls were lined with strange markings, symbols that seemed to shift whenever he looked at them too long. The woman stopped at the edge of the pit, her gaze locked onto Emeka. "You must prove yourself," she said, her voice echoing in the chamber. Chief Balogun placed a firm hand on Emeka's shoulder. "This is the final test. After this, wealth beyond your imagination will be yours." Emeka's heart pounded. He had come this far, but something about this place felt wrong. The heat, the shifting symbols, the way the woman's eyes seemed to glow slightly in the firelight, it all unsettled him. "What do I have to do?" he asked, his voice barely steady. The woman smiled, stepping aside to reveal a small wooden bowl filled with dark, thick liquid. "Drink this," she said. "It will bind you to the pact." Emeka stared at the bowl, his stomach twisting into knots. He thought of his mother, of Cheka's warnings, of the life he desperately wanted to escape. Was this truly the price of his dream? His fingers trembled as he reached for the bowl. Emeka's fingers trembled as he lifted the bowl. The thick liquid inside carried a strange, metallic scent, sending a shiver down his spine. He hesitated, his mind flashing to his mother's tired face, Cheka's frantic warnings, and the eerie glow of the shifting symbols around him. "Drink," the woman urged, her voice smooth yet firm. "Or turn back now and remain nothing forever." Chief Balogun's grip on his shoulder tightened. "No second chances, my boy. This is it." Sweat beaded on Emeka's forehead. His pulse drummed in his ears. Was he truly ready to give up everything for wealth? Was he prepared for whatever this pact would demand? He brought the bowl to his lips, the thick liquid coating his tongue. A sharp, bitter taste spread through his mouth, followed by a burning sensation that crawled down his throat like fire. Pain exploded in his chest. His knees buckled, and he fell forward, gasping for air. The room spun. The symbols on the walls pulsed violently, their glow intensifying. The woman watched, her expression unreadable. Then, everything went dark. Emeka's eyes fluttered open to darkness. His breath came in shallow gasps, his body weak and trembling. The burning sensation in his chest had dulled, but a strange heaviness remained, pressing down on him like an invisible weight. He tried to move, but his limbs felt sluggish. The room was eerily silent, no more flickering symbols, no whispers from the woman, no presence of Chief Balogun. Just endless darkness stretching in every direction. Where am I?" His voice was hoarse, barely more than a whisper. A faint glow emerged ahead, pulsing like a heartbeat. With great effort, he forced himself forward, each step dragging as if his feet were sinking into unseen depths. The glow intensified, revealing a towering figure cloaked in shadows, its eyes two burning embers. "You have taken the first step," the figure intoned, its voice deep and resonant. "Now, the true test begins." Fear coiled in Emeka's stomach. He had thought the worst was over. But something told him he had only scratched the surface of whatever fate awaited him. Emeka's eyes fluttered open to darkness. His breath came in shallow gasps, his body weak and trembling. The burning sensation in his chest had dulled, but a strange heaviness remained, pressing down on him like an invisible weight. He tried to move, but his limbs felt sluggish. The room was eerily silent, no more flickering symbols, no whispers from the woman, no presence of Chief Balogun. Just endless darkness stretching in every direction. Where am I?" His voice was hoarse, barely more than a whisper. A faint glow emerged ahead, pulsing like a heartbeat. With great effort, he forced himself forward, each step dragging as if his feet were sinking into unseen depths. The glow intensified, revealing a towering figure cloaked in shadows, its eyes two burning embers. "You have taken the first step," the figure intoned, its voice deep and resonant. "Now, the true test begins." Fear coiled in Emeka's stomach. He had thought the worst was over. But something told him he had only scratched the surface of whatever fate awaited him. The figure's fiery eyes bore into Emeka, stripping him bare. He wanted to speak, to ask what this true test meant, but his throat felt locked, as if unseen hands squeezed it shut. "You have chosen wealth above all else," the figure said, its voice rolling through the darkness like distant thunder. Now, you must pay its price. The weight on Emeka's chest grew heavier. His knees buckled, and he collapsed, his palms slamming against the cold, unseen ground. The darkness around him shifted, swirling like mist, revealing flashes of images, his mother crying, Chaka shaking his head in disappointment, the woman's knowing smile. What is the price? Emeka forced out, his voice cracking. The figure extended a hand, long fingers tipped with sharp nails. Give me what you value most. Emeka's breath hitched. My life. The figure let out a low, rumbling laugh. No. Something far greater. Emeka's mind raced. What could be greater than his life? The darkness thickened, the weight unbearable now. Then, the realization hit him like a blow to the chest. His soul. The moment he understood, the figure smiled. Now, you are ready. A force yanked him forward, dragging him deeper into the abyss. The last thing he heard was his own scream echoing into nothingness. The moral of the story is, greed comes at a price, and some deals are too costly to make. Emeka's desire for wealth blinded him to the consequences of his choices. In the end, he realized that the price of his ambition was something far greater than he had ever imagined, his own soul. The story warns against sacrificing one's morals, values, or humanity in the pursuit of riches, reminding us that not all shortcuts lead to success.